Chapter 10 is going to look at trigonometry. In the first section in Chapter 10, we're going to talk about angles and also their measures. But first, we need to talk about some vocabulary from geometry. Remind ourselves what some of these things mean. Line. A line, the line AB passes through points A and B, and it goes off in both directions forever, and it is perfectly straight. Something that's a line goes through at least 2 points, and it has to be perfectly straight. So for example, we could have 2 points, A and B, and a line that goes through them on into infinity. A line segment is the portion of the line AB that is strictly between the points A and B, and it includes the endpoints, or those points A and B. A ray is the portion of line AB that starts at A and continues through B and on past B infinitely. So we start at some point A and go off to B and through B and continues on. An angle is formed by rotating any ray around its endpoint, and it consists of 2 different rays with the same endpoint. In an angle, the rays are called the sides of the angle, and the endpoint is the vertex of the angle. The measure of an angle is determined by rotating a ray starting at one side of the angle, called the initial side, to the position of the other side, which is called the terminal side. A counterclockwise rotation is going to generate a positive angle, whereas a clockwise rotation will generate a negative angle. So if we have this angle ABC, and we are rotating in this direction, that would be a positive angle. And if we have this angle ABC and we are rotating in this direction, that would be considered a negative angle. Also, remember, we can name an angle based on either its vertex, we could call this angle B, or usually we will use 3 letters. We could call this angle ABC, or we could call it angle CBA. That middle letter always has to be the vertex. Degree. Degree is a unit of measure. It was developed by the Babylonians, and a full rotation of a ray is 360 degrees. An acute angle is going to be an angle that has a measure between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. It cannot be equal to 0, and it cannot be equal to 90. But if it's anywhere between those two, then it is considered an acute angle. A right angle is an angle that measures exactly 90 degrees. And an obtuse angle is an angle that measures between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. It's not going to measure 90, it's not going to measure exactly 180, but it will always be between 90 and 180 degrees. And a straight angle is an angle that measures exactly 180 degrees. Complementary angles and supplementary angles. Complementary angles are 2 angles whose sum is 90 degrees. If the 2 angles add up to 90 degrees, then we can consider them to be complementary angles. For example, if we have one angle, angle A, B, C, that is 30 degrees, and we have another angle, angle D, E, F, that is 60 degrees, we would consider those to be complementary angles because they add up to 180 degrees. Supplementary angles are going to be two angles whose sum is 180. One kind of way to remember this is complementary has one P, supplementary has two P's, and therefore 2 P's makes 180 degrees. An example would be something such as if we have an angle RST that is 110 degrees, and we have an angle WXY that is 70 degrees. When we add those two angles together, we end up with 180 degrees. Example 1, we're going to use this concept of supplementary angles. The basketball pole forms a pair of supplementary angles with the ground. Find the measure of angle BCA and the measure of angle DCA. Since it tells us that they're supplementary, we know that the sum of our two angles has to equal 180 degrees. We're going to take 3x plus 8, add it to 4x minus 3, and set it equal to 180. Then all we have to do is combine our like terms and solve for x. We have 7x plus 5 equals 180. Subtract 5 from both sides. 7x is equal to 175, and then divide by 7. We find out that x is equal to 25. It didn't ask us to find x, it asked us to find the measures of the angles. Now we have to go back and we have to substitute 25 in for x. The measure of angle BCA is equal to, this is BCA on the left, 3 times 25 plus 8. Therefore, the measure of angle BCA is going to be 75 plus 8, which is 83 degrees. And the measure of angle DCA is 4 times 25 minus 3. And the measure of angle DCA is going to be equal to 97 degrees. We could have also taken 83 and subtracted it away from 180, since we know that angle BCA and DCA are supplementary. It's up to you how you get to 83 and 97, but that is going to be our final answer. Example number 2 says to find the complement and the supplement of 38 degrees. Complementary angles add up to 90. Something plus 38 is going to be equal to 90 degrees. Or, in other words, 90 minus 38 will give us our complement. The complement in this case is 52 degrees. For the supplement, we know that some angle plus 38 is going to be equal to 180 degrees. So if we subtract 38 from 180, we end up with the supplement to 38, which happens to be 142 degrees. In all of your math classes up until this point, you've used what they call decimal degrees. However, degrees have the ability to be measured in minutes and seconds instead of being measured with decimals. It's a little bit more precise. It's used more when you're talking about things like navigation, but it is another way to write this. 1 minute, written as 1 with a apostrophe, is a 60th of a degree. Or in other words, we could say 1 minute is equal to 1 over 60 degrees. Or 60 minutes is equivalent to 1 degree. 1 second, written 1 with the little quote, is a 60th of a minute. 1 second is equal to 1/60th of a minute, which is 1/3600th of a degree. Or 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. And the measure 12 degrees, 42 minutes, and 38 seconds would be how we read this. Example 2 has us adding two angles together that are in degrees, minutes, and seconds. Whenever we are going to add with degrees, minutes, and seconds, we're always going to add together the degrees, the minutes together, and the seconds together separately. Then anything over 60 gets reduced. So 51 degrees, 49 minutes plus 43 degrees, 21 minutes. I'm going to add my minutes first. 9 plus 1 gives me 10. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So we have 70 minutes. 94 degrees and 70 minutes. However, 70 minutes is more than 60. We need to reduce. 70 minutes is equivalent to 1 degree and 1 minute. 1 degree and 10 minutes. Since 1 degree is 60 minutes, 60 plus 10, that's a better way to say it. 70 minutes is equal to 60 minutes plus 10 minutes. And 60 minutes is equivalent to 1 degree. So therefore, 70 minutes is 1 degree and 10 minutes. We're going to rewrite this, therefore, as 95 degrees. We added this 1 degree to 94 and 10 minutes. Here we are missing minutes. It's 12 degrees, 30 minutes, and 12 seconds being added to 1 degree, no minutes, and 55 seconds. You always have to write in the minutes if they are missing. We're going to write this as 1 degree, 0 minutes, and 55 seconds. It ends up being 30 degrees, 13 degrees, 30 minutes, and 67 seconds. However, 67 seconds is equivalent to 60 seconds plus 7 seconds, and 60 seconds is 1 minute. So 67 seconds is equivalent to 1 minute and 7 seconds. So therefore, we have to add 1 minute to 30, and we get 13 degrees, 31 minutes, and 7 seconds as our final answer.